What if the ocean you mastered your entire life turned on you in an instant? How does someone who saved lives, rode death-defying waves, and lived for the sea become its most unexpected victim? He surfed waves that would scare most people out of the water. To Tamayo Perry, Pipeline wasn't dangerous, it was home. That's why what happened on June 23, 2024 is so shocking. Tamayo Perry, a world-famous surfer, lifeguard, and even a Hollywood actor, was killed by a shark while surfing off the coast of Oahu. A guy who surfed some of the deadliest waves on Earth, taken by a shark in what seemed like just another day in the water. How does someone so skilled, so connected to the ocean, end up in a tragedy like this? That's the story we're telling today. Stick around, because Tamayo's story isn't just about one tragic moment. It's about passion, fearlessness, and a life lived completely in sync with the ocean. Tamayo Perry grew up surrounded by the ocean in a small town on the north shore of Oahu, Hawaii. Born in 1975 in Hauula, he started surfing when he was just 12 years old. His dad got him into it, and before long, he was hooked. He wasn't rich, didn't have fancy gear, and wasn't from a big-name surf family. But what he did have was raw talent and a fearless drive to improve. He'd paddle out in huge waves that other kids wouldn't even look at. Locals started noticing the skinny kid who didn't back down from anything. At Kahuku High School, Tamayo formed a close friendship with fellow North Shore native Jack Johnson. Yes, the same Jack Johnson who went on to become a world-famous musician. They both shared a love for the ocean and a laid-back Hawaiian vibe. Coming up, we'll see how Tamayo went from being a local grom to dominating one of the most dangerous waves in the world, Pipeline, and what he had to survive to earn that respect. By the late 1990s, Tamayo Perry wasn't just another surfer on the North Shore. He was becoming a legend. In 1999, he won the Pipeline Masters Trials, a huge deal in the surfing world. That meant he had earned the right to compete against the best of the best on one of the planet's most feared waves. And when he dropped into Pipeline, it was magic. Pipeline is no joke. It's fast, shallow, and deadly. But Tamayo made it look effortless. He had this fearless style, calm under pressure, with razor-sharp instincts. Surf magazines started calling him one of the best tube riders in the game, and they weren't wrong. You'd see him at Pipeline, at Teahupo'o in Tahiti, waves that have broken boards, bones, and spirits. But Tamayo thrived in them. He wasn't just surviving these waves, he was owning them. His style was smooth, controlled, almost like he had a sixth sense for what the ocean was doing. Other surfers respected him, fans loved him, and for a lot of kids growing up in Hawaii, Tamayo became someone to look up to. But even as he rose in fame, he never lost that humble, local boy attitude. Next, Tamayo steps off the board and into Hollywood, but not before a serious accident almost ended it all. What happened, and how did it change his path forever? Tamayo's talent didn't stay in the surf world for long. Hollywood came calling. In the early 2000s, he scored roles in movies like Blue Crush, and later appeared in Pirates of the Caribbean, on Stranger Tides. Even in front of the camera, Tamayo brought that cool, confident energy he had in the water. He wasn't acting tough, he was tough. But behind the scenes, life wasn't all smooth sailing. In 2005, Tamayo suffered a major head injury while surfing. It was serious. He could have died. That moment shifted something in him. He became more vocal about surf safety and respecting the ocean. He knew firsthand how fast things could go wrong, even for the most skilled surfers. A few years later, in 2016, he became a lifeguard with Honolulu Ocean Safety. Saving lives became part of his daily routine, and with his wife Amelia, he co-founded the Oahu Surfing Experience, teaching ocean safety and sharing wisdom with the next generation. Tamayo had evolved, from surfer to star to protector. But even with all that experience, nothing could prepare him or anyone for what happened on that calm June afternoon. If you've made it this far, take a second to like this video and hit subscribe. This story deserves to be heard, and Tamayo's legacy deserves to be remembered. Comment below if you've ever felt the power of the ocean or been inspired by someone who lived life all in. Up next, we dive into the heartbreaking day that changed everything. It was a sunny Sunday, nothing unusual for Oahu's North Shore. Tamayo paddled out near Goat Island, a spot he knew like the back of his hand. The waves weren't big, but the water was calm, clear, and perfect. A little surf, some solitude, and the sea he loved more than anything. No one knows exactly what happened first. One moment, he was in the water alone. The next, witnesses say they saw splashing. Then, blood. Lifeguards on the beach spotted something was wrong and launched a jet ski right away. When they reached him, Tamayo's injuries were severe, consistent with a large shark bite. His leg had been badly torn, and he had lost a dangerous amount of blood. They rushed him back to shore, but it was too late. Tamayo was gone before most people even realized something had happened. Just like that, the ocean had taken back one of its fiercest and most faithful sons. He wasn't just attacked, he was hunted in waters he had surfed for decades. The news stunned Hawaii and the world. This wasn't a careless swimmer or a first-time surfer. This was Tamayo Perry, a pipeline master, a man who understood the sea better than most people understand themselves. But that day, even all his experience couldn't protect him. The news spread like wildfire. Social media lit up. Friends, fans, and the entire surf community were in disbelief. Tamayo Perry, who had faced down some of the scariest waves in the world, was gone, not from a wipeout, but from something no one could see coming. Coming up, we look at the wave of love and heartbreak that followed, how the world said goodbye to a legend, and the powerful words his wife shared just days after his death. The world didn't just lose a surfer, it lost a symbol. When news of Tamayo Perry's death hit, the outpouring of love was immediate and massive. Surfers from Hawaii to Australia, pro athletes, actors, and everyday ocean lovers all paid tribute. On the North Shore, makeshift memorials appeared overnight. Flowers, surfboards, handwritten notes. People didn't just say he was great. They called him a waterman, a title in Hawaiian culture that means someone who lives in harmony with the sea. It's a word earned, not given. And Tamayo embodied it completely. His wife Emilia gave a powerful message just days after his passing.
I feel so upset and devastated, but I also have a weird calmness in my heart knowing that he's in a better place. How to be a better human, to love everybody when you have them, because you never know when they're going to be taken away.
Fighting through tears, she spoke about Tamayo's deep faith, his love for life, and the joy he found in helping others, especially young surfers. She said he was doing what he loved most when he left this world. One of his fellow lifeguards called him a bright light. Others said he always showed up with a joke, a smile, and a humble attitude, even after surfing some of the gnarliest waves on Earth. His impact didn't end in the water. It lives on through the people he taught, the lives he saved, and the spirit he brought to every wave. After Tamayo's death, a lot of people started asking, how common are shark attacks in Hawaii? The answer might surprise you. Despite what movies and headlines suggest, shark attacks are incredibly rare. On average, Hawaii sees about 3 to 4 unprovoked shark incidents per year across all the islands. Fatal attacks? Maybe one every 10 to 15 years. Tamayo's was the first deadly shark attack on Oahu in over 2 decades. Most of the time, sharks avoid humans completely. They're curious, not aggressive. But when conditions are right, low visibility, murky water, or mistaken identity, they can strike. Surfers are especially at risk because from below, a person on a board can look like a turtle or a seal. Hawaii is home to several shark species, but tiger sharks are the most commonly linked to attacks on humans. Still, the ocean remains safe for millions who visit every year. Knowing how to respect and understand shark behavior goes a long way. Tamayo understood those risks, and he still chose the sea. Not out of recklessness, but because the ocean was part of who he was. So next time you paddle out, remember, fear doesn't stop us, respect does. Next, we wrap up with what Tamayo's life teaches us about passion, purpose, and why even the fiercest souls still answer to the sea. You won't want to miss the final message. Tamayo Perry didn't just ride waves, he lived them. He chased his dreams with everything he had, from a kid with a board on the North Shore, to a pipeline champion, to a Hollywood actor, to a lifeguard saving lives. And through it all, he stayed humble, kind, and full of aloha. He taught us that greatness doesn't mean being loud. Sometimes it's quiet confidence. It's showing up, doing what you love, and giving back. Tamayo gave everything he had to the ocean, and in the end, the ocean took him. Not as a punishment, but maybe as a way of bringing one of its own home. His story is tragic, but it's also beautiful, because Tamayo didn't die afraid. He died doing exactly what he loved, in the place he loved most. So next time you see a wave crashing in the distance, or a surfer carving down a face of water, remember Tamayo, not for how he died, but for how he lived. If this story moved you, comment Aloha Tamayo below to honor him. Subscribe for more real stories of those who lived fully, no matter the cost. Tamayo Perry lived with purpose. Share this video to keep that purpose alive. Someone out there needs to hear it. And if you ever find yourself at the edge of the ocean, take a breath and give thanks for legends like Tamayo and for every moment we're lucky enough to ride the wave.
There are 30, 40 people, but it's like the whole state's pouring out their love, and it's overwhelming for me. And I'm really honored and privileged to have been his father, because he was born into my hands. I cut the cord, and I got to see him all the way through his adulthood, and he ended up becoming one of my best friends, which is one of the most important things you can be with your children.